kind support and the opportunity to be here to represent the children and youth of small island developing states. Before I begin, I would like to ask everyone a few questions. If you are from or is living in a small island developing state, raise your hand. If you have experienced a destructive storm or hurricane, raise your hand. If you have experienced a Category 5 hurricane, raise your hand. As I look around the room, only 2 to 3 of us hands are left in the air. Growing up on an island means living with the constant reality of climate threats. Currently, we are in the heart of the hurricane season. During this time, some of the most destructive storms pass through our region. Picture this. You are living on an island and school is scheduled to start. However, you receive an alarming news that a hurricane is heading your way. As it gets closer, it strengthens. Now a warning turned into a nightmare, a catastrophic Category 5 hurricane, Irma. Upon making landfall, you can hear your neighbors screaming and the wind whistling. You can see the water gushing into your house and buildings are being destroyed. Irma left my mother and siblings homeless, losing most of what we once owned. 7 years later, my family and I are still living in different parts of the island because of the destruction that storm left behind. This is a sad reality of many children and youth living in small island developing states. Despite small island developing states contributing less than 1% to global emissions, we bear the brunt of the climate crisis. Hurricanes, rising sea levels, and other extreme weather events are destroying our homes, livelihoods, schools, and futures. 2 months ago, Hurricane Beryl made landfall in parts of the Caribbean, devastating islands like Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Jamaica. Children and youth are particularly vulnerable, and in small island developing states, we lack the necessary social protection to recover from these devastating events. How much longer do we have to endure the consequences of a crisis we did not create? Now let's look at a bigger picture. According to the World Social Protection Report launched today, globally when it comes to social protection for children, progress in expanding social protection has occurred, but it still remains elusive for the majority of children. 1.8 billion children under 18 remain uncovered. The global figure also hides large regional disparities. Less than 1 in 10 children benefit from child or cash benefits in low-income countries. Out of the total money spent by governments on social protection, only 4.8% is spent on children, contrasting to 36% on healthcare, 37.4% on pension, and 21.8% on working age benefits. In small island developing states, these figures are much lower. Aren't these figures alarming to you? How much longer do we, the children and youth, have to suffer, and at what cost? Let me give you a moment to ponder on that thought. Today, I call on world leaders, especially those from countries that contribute the most to global emissions. The time is now for meaningful action. Climate crisis, forced displacement, halt education, and leaving many feeling disconnected from their homes and identities. Investment in social protection for children and youth is critical to help us navigate these challenges. We must be included in the conversations and decisions that shape our future, not as tokens of representations, but as partners in creating solutions. Our voices must be valued, heard, and respected. We need a fair distribution of resources to ensure a just transition for all. Social protection that equips children and youth in SIDS to not only survive, but to thrive in a world defined by climate change is essential. It is time to bridge the gap between social protection and the climate crisis. The decisions made now will profoundly affect future generations. It is my hope to see a world where the fight for resources is a thing of the past and climate and social justice become our norm. Making this vision a reality is up to all of us, each and every one of you, and yes, me too. In the Caribbean, we would say, "Alawi, I thank you."